Greetings, YukiTube, and welcome to the Dragoon's Den. Today is Halloween, and so to celebrate this nefarious, twisted, and evil holiday, I have for you guys an equally nefarious, twisted, and evil deck profile. It is one that has struck terror into its opponents, brought about much pain and suffering. It is one of the most fearsome and loathed decks out there. It is none other than Dark World. Okay, so yes, we're going to be talking about Dark World today. I know it's not everyone's most popular deck to really be up against, like, between this, Chamber, and Final Countdown, and like other troll decks, this is like one of the reasons why you don't really like to be on the end for an extended period of time, because if you want to play test something fun, you'll end up going up against something like this that completely raffle stomps you because it opened the nuts game one, and then the moment you even think about side decking, that guy runs off like a little bitch. Those are the type of people that honestly I feel give Dark World a bad name, because they're only playing the deck because it's easy as hell to pilot game one, and once you bring in the side deck, they don't know what to do because they have no idea what to side out without completely killing their consistency. I honestly find that to be an intriguing challenge in regards to this deck, because I feel that game 1, yes, you're trying to turbo through, you're doing what Dark World is infamous for, but then games 2 and 3, you are side decking to beat your opponent's side, and as a result, you're playing a much slower, grind-esque game with just summoning Grappa, sit on it, get around your opponent's back row, and then make your pushes. I find that very intriguing. I also like the concept of the mirror match. Yes, I know, the mirror match for Dark World is absolutely stupid, and that's why I find it hilarious, because your opponent probably has no concept of trying to play around your own Dark World cards. And so when they go that turn 1 dealing and you discard a Grappa, they realize, oh shit, I'm in a mirror match, and they have to slow the hell down, otherwise they'll risk you getting so much advantage off of their own discard cards, and it just makes them play at a place that's absolutely uncomfortable to them. Whereas I'm perfectly fine with just sitting on Grappa, on my prisons, on my compulses, so on and so on. So honestly, I find the concept of a Dark World mirror match to be absolutely hilarious. And then games 2 and 3, you side in stuff to deal with the mirror. I like to use Dark Smog, Raikou, MST, Dust Tornado. Just hit that field spell. Don't worry too much about the back row. You have compulsory evacuation device and the virus cards to save your Grappas from prison and so forth. Anyway, let's get to the actual deck profile itself. My build isn't too different from before, but I've had a couple people ask me how I would run Dark Worlds. This is what I would do. I would run 3 copies of Grappa because he's Grappa, 3 copies of Snow. I honestly think this could be semi or even limited. Just being able to search out everything in the entire deck is kind of stupid. 3 copies of Brow, 1 copy of Beige, no main deck Silva, although if this was DN I would highly consider it because again, Dark Worlds are very commonplace on DN and Silva lasted the mirror match. 2 copies of Tour Guide, card's just too good in here, and then 1 copy of Trance Archfiend. I've always liked this card. He's basically a walking discard outlet on legs, and in particular he's helpful for getting around some certain situations. Like suppose your opponent went turn 1 Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. Trance Archfiend plus Graphite gets around that Shien. He also gets around Nap Beast, he also gets around Fossil Dyna, he just gets around those kind of cards that is completely stonewalling your deck from doing anything. Trance Archfiend discarding Graphite does that, or you can just simply discard a Snow, search Gates, and if you got another card in your hand, you just proceed to combo off. And that's it for the monster lineup. I almost want to run 2 Trance Archfiends, but I just don't know what I would run in the main deck, or what I would take out for. For the spells, of which you run many, you got your 3 Gates, your 3 Dealings, your 3 Drag Downs, which should be limited, 3 Upstarts, 1 card Destruction, this should be banned, and then you got like your limited cards, Dark Hole, Foolish Storm, Monster Reborn. Again, not much as far as like diversity goes. If you've seen one Dark World deck, you've probably seen all of these cards. For the traps, I'm running 3 copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device. I absolutely love the card in the deck. Being able to just either bounce back a Grappa that your opponent's trying to prison, bottomless. You can bounce back any of your Dark World monsters and then just discard them for later. If you summon Tourguard and they chain a Veiler to it, because it's the only thing you would Veiler, you can just bounce it, get the Prowl, bounce it for Grappa. And you can also do things like bounce their monster out of the way, swing for 3000, bounce their Zenmaines. Evac is just amazing in this deck. I would never run less than 3. Then 2 copies of Prison because I like 1-for-1 removal. Yes, I know. You could be running stuff like Reckless or Mind Crush, but I kind of think they're a little bit win more. Whereas Prison, like, it answers like annoying cards. 2 Torrential Tribute because you don't mind blowing up your field. 1 copy of Deck Devastation Virus. You guys know I like these cards. 1 Eradicator Virus 2. Just Tribute Grappa, pop the back row. 1 copy of Solemn Judgment. And that's it for the main deck. As for the extra deck, I don't really have a completed one. I'm missing some cards. I'm missing 2 Heliopolis. He's good in here. 2 Grappas make this guy. Tribute him, plus whatever's in your hand to blow away the back row. What's important about this guy is he gets a grid of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. By tributing like a if you overlay 2 Grappas and then tribute himself, you can pop that Shadow Mirror and then proceed to do Dark World shenanigans. Utopia, Roach, Operative, Flystroke, Rhythm. He becomes 3600 under gates, of course you already know this. Contempo, Acid Golem, Brilliant, Leviair, Leviathan. It's supposed to be 2 Leviairs, but I don't know where my second one went, so I gotta get the tin. Zenmaines and Zenmaines. And there you have it, Dark Worlds. Not much else to say on it. It's a pretty straightforward deck to run Game 1. Game 2 and 3 becomes a little more challenging. As for what I would run on my side, I don't really have a finalized one yet, but I would run 3 MST, 3 Raikou, Lightsworn Hunter, 2 Gozen Match, 1 Dark Smog. And after that, I kind of get it. I don't really know. I mean, the MSTs would be for shit like Macro. Raikou also gets rid of those cards, and more importantly, he works under Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. And you don't care if he mills the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. It just means you get you what you want to 3 cards faster. So those 6 cards are auto includes. And in Dark Smog, you would put that in for the Mirror, Chaos Dragons. It's another good useful discard outlet. And then you've got Gozen Match because the entire deck is dark. Although Rivalry of Warlords is starting to look rather tempting because all you run are Fiends. And I honestly think that's a better card than Gozen Match at this time. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed this. And for people who have been up against this deck, I apologize. That being said, thank you all for watching. Until next time.